Hello everyone, and welcome to my solo RPG journal. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. You see, I made a bit of a mistake. I deleted a folder, which rather unfortunately had all of my Frostgrave stuff in it. All of my notes and things, including the single-player campaign I was writing. So I've got to remake it. What we do have, however, is the board. So I've essentially built three separate boards in one, where is that not what I want to do? That's the height. Boy, how did I get this to work? There we go. I just haven't got the height right. Where I've got three games, essentially. The first one, approaching this ruined manor, and two boards sitting inside the ruined manor as different levels of it. And I have a vague recollection of what it was I wanted to write. The design that I had planned for the scenario. So, what we need to do is actually note that down so that we can play it. So, the idea is we've got 3 to 4 games here. We've got an approach to this manor. The objective being that there's rumors of treasure inside this manor that no one who has approached it has come back from. And then they approach through sort of this ruined area. The first thing is there will be treasure to be found in this area before they have to get through and open these doors. Then on the first... I'm dragging the wrong one. On the first level, we have a lot of undead just around that you've got to make your way through and get the key for the second level. So here, this is stairs. If I bring this up, we've got a staircase up to the second level, but the doors, there should be, there we go. The doors to the second level are locked and there is no access to the rest of the area. So once they get to the second area, they have to come in and get the keys from the library. And then on the third area, the idea is that this is where the treasure is. Now, as you might be able to tell from some of the models here, this manor is infested with vampire necromancers, I guess. The idea that I had behind the campaign was it would be a race against time. So you'd approach in the dwindling daylight hours. You have a certain number of turns before the vampires wake up. And from I think the start of the game, I haven't worked that out entirely if it's the start of the game or if it's from the beginning of the second map. But you have to get through here into the manor, get through and get the treasure before ideally before the vampires wake up, because that just increases the difficulty. And when the vampires wake up, this room here full of bones will start spawning skeletons every turn that will then make their way to your cutoff point, your exit point, before probably before you're able to get back after collecting the treasure. I haven't decided if we have a fourth scenario, which is actually escape this courtyard again, at which point it will be get to the other side of the courtyard with as much treasure as you can, and we'll just be spawning in an completely unlimited number of enemies to get in your way. So, looking at the scenario, the first scenario, maybe I should change the word scenario. Let's do that, actually. The first scenario is the approach to the manor. The second scenario is the manor library, which is our goal. The third scenario is a little bit unset. Maybe treasure. Maybe we could call it the Vampire Lord. Or something, I don't know. And an escape. The first thing is the approach to the manor. So I have three things, or four things, I guess. The first is, on the right here, we have a tavern. Was the idea behind it, but a building with 2 floors. The entrance is on the... there's 2 entrances, I guess. There's one closest to the player start, and another one through the side here. There is no entrance towards the side of the goal, which is the side of the door, the side of the manor. You have to make your way up to the top level, where we have a treasure guarded by 2 wraiths, I think. I think we were talking about wraiths as the creature. Well, let me just refer to my book. Oh, hang on. If I right-click on these, have I had the foresight to name them? Hi, GM tools, rename, evil spirits. So probably not. I assume that is the Tailspire name. Miscellaneous creatures, demons, constructs, animals. It starts with animals, doesn't it? Constructs, demons, miscellaneous. Is undead after miscellaneous? Yes, it is. Yep. So it is guarded by 2 wraiths. So setup, we have... I'll create another thing. We've got 4 things. We've got the tavern. We've got the store. I'll leave that. 3 things, the entrance. So the tavern has a 2-floor building, 2-story building. The entrance must not face the manor. The staircase should be on the first floor, because I think everywhere, well, I don't know where it is. I know that America, it's first floor or second floor. Where I'm from, it's ground floor, first floor. The ground floor is not the first floor, except for some small subset of American run buildings, American company run buildings, I think. So the first floor or second are American. I guess there is now a localization issue in my that needs to be resolved when if this is ever printed or goes anywhere else. Has 1 treasure. So the idea is that the amount of distance you have to cover is not insignificant. So that's like almost 6 inches to get to the treasure or get down. But if I wanted to get there from... So we've got quite a way to travel. So we've almost 24 inches to get to that to that treasure. If you come from that direction, or can I not? Have I run out of? Is there a maximum number of points on the tape measure? There you go. So that is not an insignificant distance that you need to travel. You then, I guess, can jump this to make to get out the top, and that's fine to get to the other side because it's a bit of a hazard. There is like falling rules and stuff, so it's not straightforward. But the safe route back out is more than 2 feet. So this treasure should require 2 feet of movement. We'll go 24 inches to get to, and then if walking, to get out of the tavern. The treasure is guarded by 2 wraiths. Now, I am going to... Wraiths. I'm going to add a wraith section to the special rules. I want to change their movement. Usually in Frostgrave, creatures go hunting. These creatures are staying where they are, or they stay with the treasure. They will not move more than 6 inches away from the treasure, I think. We'll actually get wraiths. If the wraiths are not in combat, they move to be within combat and are within 3 of the treasure, of the tavern treasure, then they stay still. If they are not within 3 inches of the tavern treasure, and there are no living creatures within 6 inches of the tavern treasure, then they stay still. No, if they are not, then they move as close to the treasure as they can. If there is an enemy within 6 inches of the tavern treasure, they will move to attack it prioritizing any treasure, the closest enemy to the treasure or any creature holding the treasure. Simply put, that treasure is theirs and no one else can touch it. I think that should cover everything. I could add rules in there for them to return the treasure to the tavern. We'll add that as optional. There's a straight line. There is use a case that I haven't covered in those, so we'll get back to that. Then any wraith that is not and that would otherwise stay still will pick up the treasure and return and move to return it to the first floor of the tavern. Can wraiths fly? Okay. These wraiths can fly and will move in the straightest line that they can. They will not travel through walls while holding the treasure. When they reach the treasure's initial location, they will drop it. And I'm going to actually say they are not... The wraith's movement is not hindered by the treasure when holding it. So they can move their full movement instead of the half movement that you usually get. Now, the use case that I did have is the straight line. If the wraith is in combat or is an enemy between it and the... If the wraith is in combat or there is an enemy between it and the treasure. Now, can they are ethereal. I'm using an empty Coke can to hold my place in the book. This creature may move through terrain as though it were not there, provided it... Yep. Now, I have to check this. Check. I need to check the rules for moving out of combat. I might have to write a rule that allows them to leave a combat so that they... Maybe let them leave combat. I basically want the wraiths to always go after the treasure. Now, the other thing that we've got is we have these 3 storehouses. And there is one treasure and 2 zombies. In the storehouses, there is a crate. So, the idea is that your character can come in, a character can come in and use an activation to search a crate. In that crate will either be a treasure or a zombie, which will be randomly determined. Storehouses. There are 3 storehouses between the manor and the player start. Each one has a large crate inside. A character can spend a movement when activated to search the crate. Search a crate. In 2 of the crates are a zombie. In 1 of the crates is a treasure. Determine randomly. So when a character, when a model opens, searches a crate, determine what is in there randomly. To do so, roll 1d3, and on a 3, well, 1d3 for the first crate, and then 1d2 for the second crate. On the highest roll, highest number, 3 or 2, the crate contains the treasure. As long as the treasure has not yet been discovered. If both of the first 2 crates opened contained zombies. Do I have to say otherwise? Otherwise, it contains a zombie. If both of the first crates to be opened contained zombies, then the last crate contains the treasure. So, there are essentially 2 treasures to be discovered on this first map. One of them requires a lot of movement and a combat to get to and from. One of them requires searching and a bit of random luck. But possible, depending on your luck, might take less time. I can't remember if I don't think I wanted to do anything with this building. I think it was just there to get in the way so that there's no line of sight straight to the door. Now, the third thing is this courtyard. In the courtyard, we have the door, and we have a number of gargoyles. I actually have quite a lot of gargoyles on the map, and I wasn't sure which ones I wanted to wake up or not. But the idea is that when you open the door, so the entrance courtyard, The door to the manor is guarded by several stone statues and gargoyles. The gargoyles stay still. Are just inanimate statues until the player opens, or the player attempts to open the door. Now, how do you open the door? A player can destroy the door by dealing 10 damage, just say, or they can open it with a d20 roll above a 10. So they use an action, they spend an action to attempt to open the door, open it by spending an action to break the lock with a d20 roll above a 10. I'm not sure if I should make this some kind of stat check. That's something to, I guess, to explore. That might be something that we can make more challenging. I think that probably destroying the door would be harder, but you could do it from range by attacking the door. Because this would be roll an attack and deal 10 damage. So it can be done from range. Whereas this, you have to be next to the door. To make the check to open the door, open the lock, the model must be touching the door. Must be in base contact. In base contact with the door. Now, there should be 6 statues in the courtyard, 2 of which must flank the door. When the door is attacked, all 6 statues become active. Is it gargoyles? Living statues? What was the creature? There's a whole scenario built around them, which I have played. Demons, giant, snow troll. Oh, it'd be a construct, right? Constructs. Maybe I just used constructs. That's pretty easy. We have 2 medium constructs and 4 small constructs. Active. The 2 flanking the door are medium constructs. And the 4 in the courtyard. This is about setup, this section. I've got the special rules. I'll sort that out later. The 4 in the courtyard are small constructs. 2 should be placed next to, within 1 inch of the doors, and the other 4 should be placed around the courtyard. What distances have I done? Courtyard further than 3 inches from each other. If you have a feature like a fountain, it may help to put them around it. So that is what I have done. And that is the majority of the scenario, though I've got some of the special rules in the setup area. Except I have these skeletons. And I've put 3 there. I've put 3 skeletons with bows and 3 normal skeletons there. But the idea is that after a certain number of turns, we want to give the player a number of turns to get in here. And if they exceed that, because they've taken a long time dealing with the treasures, we want to up the stakes for them and spawn in creatures. So after 6 turns, 6 rounds, a skeleton and a skeleton archer will spawn in and walk back and forward along the manor wall. So special rules. So that's wraiths. So I also want special rules for the storage. We need special rules for storage. We need special rules for gargoyles and skeleton patrol. So the storage, the storehouses is what I was calling them. I knew that was wrong. Storehouses. I'll have to bring down gargoyles. Can't remember how to spell gargoyles. That is just gone. I again will bring down 2 special rules, but the skeleton patrol. After turn 6, skeletons will start to patrol the manor. On turn 7, and every turn thereafter, 1 skeleton and 1 skeleton archer will spawn from the left of the manor and walk to the right of the manor. When the skeletons activate, if they can't see an enemy, see a living creature, they will move to the right hand side of the board until they get to within 3 of it, after which they will move back to the left of the board, continuing this until the end of the game. And so there we have one scenario that should prove quite dangerous for a little reward. And looking at the length of this video, I think I will actually call that there, and we'll do another video for the second and then maybe the third scenario. And so then, thanks for joining me. I hope you found this interesting. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've got any ideas. Maybe you've got some better ideas. Be really keen to see them. My plan is to get these 3 to 4 scenarios written and then to play it. So that is something I'm wanting to do in the next few weeks. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.